just stand up and talk very loud.
Did you want me to go so you can see me?
Yeah.
All right, so Yoav Shalev from 11 Baymare Road over here in Bell Canyon. And we've been here for almost 6 years. And this is in regards to the real estate portion of the agenda. Like you said, to purchase possible Bell Canyon land, which is lots 77, 78, 79, 80 goes into there. They're all each half-acre parcels, starting off adjacent to our house and all the way to the community center. So what we are concerned about, number one, is getting any structure built, especially if it's, I know the fire department wants to have their housing in there for the Bell Canyon Volunteer Fire Department. That's the 501c3. One, we obviously don't want a structure next to our house. That's why we bought the house there, because it's connected to the equestrian center. The big part about it is the zoning requirement would have to change from residential, which I talked to planning and zoning this morning too. They said that would have to go through a zoning request to change it to commercial use. The other thing is a setback issue. There's only about maybe 10 to 20 feet depth max that you can build on that lot, because you still need to have the setback from the street. So if they change the setback, bringing it to the street, that would be another problem. Again, dealing with the architectural committee, that means that all of us can now request to build also up to the front of the street without having any setbacks. Another issue is that is a clearway. It is a fire protected area for fire escapes right now. We build any structures there, we lose that free escape shelter, which is the only part in the center of the canyon that you can go to that's open gravel without any structures. Also, horses can't be removed there in case of a fire. We already had a big problem in the 2018 wildfires. We put any structures there, trailers are going to have a hard time, if any time at all, to go in and remove the horses from the equestrian center. Aside from also lowering property values, changing from residential to commercial on that street, that's another big thing. Obviously, our property values would go down, it would be an eyesore. But a solution would be either continue the equestrian center building, so that way it's matched out in the maintenance area of the equestrian center where there's lots of space in a driveway already built. Fire trucks can be stored there if that's what we want. It could be covered for the hay, that way the hay doesn't get wet. I know that's been a problem. It'd be out of sight of the community, and I know everybody on Baymare is not opposed to that. However, everybody is opposed to something being built in the gravel lots in front. In fact, it's a consensus from actually talking to literally every person on the street. The other thing is, I know, and Eric can attest to that, is I asked if I could even purchase that lot over the years, and I was told that it has to go through a majority vote of the community, 2/3 vote. That's about 478 homes have to approve it. And I was told that that's not really an option, which means if it's an option now, I would still like the option to purchase that lot. And again, it's just to make sure nobody builds there. It's just to keep it vacant. It's not because I don't want a developer or anything. It's just, it's a fire safety thing, and it's nice to keep a nice vacant area, keep those oak trees, and just have it open, because you can't really build a home there anyways. It's too narrow. That's all I have.
Johnny is speaking, please.
That's Yoav.
Thank you, very clear. Now, I just wanted to say thank you to the CSD, one, for turning the heater on so that we're all comfortable. You can tell that the tone in the room is much calmer than some of the past meetings. I've been going through footage of the CSD meetings, I don't know, maybe the last 4 of them that I've been, and there was a lot of cursing and really disturbing behavior. My friend Harvey from Consumer Watchdogs Foundation has actually taken a look at some of the footage and helping me with a report. So I just want to ask everyone to stay professional, kind, and respectful. This is a community where people raise their families, and this should be a professional, kind setting that represents Bell Canyon as a community, because what is on the footage that I've been reviewing is very embarrassing, and some of the topics, for example, $50,000 for an investigation regarding some gentlemen who entered into an office, is just very embarrassing to the community as a whole. So I just hope that moving forward, when I come to these meetings and record, that there's no vile language and people stay professional. That's all.
More from the Zoom.
What was the name of that group you mentioned? I didn't catch that.
Matthew mentioned the group. Consumer watchdog or something?
Yeah, my friend is founded a group called Consumer Watchdog, and he's been working on
Yeah, thank you. We got it.
insurance, and there's a connection from insurance and HOA, so he's helping me right now.
Okay. That concludes open forum.
If you want me to go into a little more
No,
detail,
that's good.
No need, I just want to know.
because I'd really like to refute what Jeff Abity had to say.
Judy, you're a director. You can say whatever you want. If you want the floor, you can say whatever you want.
I know I can. Thank you. 1 second. Because, I mean, this is harassment as far as I'm concerned. What Jeff Abity, and I hope he's listening, has had to say. Because this went to all of you and to other members of the community.
I think he just wants to know if you own it, that's it. I mean, that's all I want.
No, there was
If you
much
own
more than that.
That domain.
Okay, on January 12th, and there are a couple of other issues when we discuss PRAs I want to get to. Dear Ms. Lance, under the laws set down under the Public Records Act, you as an individual are hereby put on notice to provide what has been asked for in relation to my request many months ago in 2023.
Mike,
Yeah, great.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh.
See, our audio is terrible.
But Judy, is it important because we've been here for like an hour and?
Yes, it's
Go for
important.
it.
Go, Judy.
You want me to go over to
Yeah.
Michael's computer?
Yeah, and start
Matthew,
over.
would you please stop disrupting the meeting?
Me?
Matthew, please stop disrupting. the
You
meeting.
tried to interrupt her when she's talking.
Matthew, please refrain from disruption of the meeting.
Let me answer. Matthew, the public portion where the public can speak in this meeting is over.
You just got done saying she could talk, and then he interrupted her.
Matthew, the public portion of this meeting where the public can speak is over. This is your first warning. The public is no longer allowed to speak at this meeting for any reason. If you interrupt this meeting again, we're going to politely ask you to stop interrupting.
And what about Eric when he does?
Matthew, did you not understand what I said? You don't get to talk now. This is a government meeting. This is not an interchange. This is not a conversation. This is a California municipal government conducting its work.
Michael, I know the anxiety, but in these meetings like this, the board goes through this part of it, and a lot of times people are anxious to say something. In this particular forum,
We just want to be able to hear Judy. I can't hear her.
these guys can argue all they
Yeah,
want.
he's interrupting her, and I can't hear her.
It's okay.
Matthew,
To be
But she's on the
honest,
board.
We're directors.
But we want to hear Judy.
Please.
I'm
stop
sorry,
disrupting.
That's okay. Judy, go read this thing, will you?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Judy, just read
January
it.
10th.
No, you gotta go over here.
how are you kind of standing?
Okay, I'm still fighting my hip replacements.
Oh, no. Here, pass it down.
Judy's. I'll be okay. All right. This is from Jeff Abity, dated January 10th, 2024.
I don't want you to get.
It has come to my attention, as well as many other members of the community, that Ms. Judith Lance is the owner of the above-mentioned domain.
Which
And
one?
this is Restore Bell Canyon, what did he mention? .com. This is the same domain name that has been sending out slanderous and false information about people and community safety entities for some time. Prior to the last election, an edited video of myself slandering me was set up prior to the election to defame me and not get me voted. Machuga was also behind this by getting a mailing list from Melissa Raff. Both you and Peter, in my opinion, are not worthy to represent the community, and I am officially putting you both on notice that a full investigation will be conducted with the proper governmental departments. The CSD should not have members that supports this website and allows such slanderous and defaming comments to be posted. They are legally responsible for these actions, and Lance should not be a sitting board member. I am disgusted to even write such an email, but I want it on the record, so we all know what type of two-faced person these people are. Rest assured, if you know me well enough, I won't let the grass grow under my feet on this matter. Lance, I urge you to post this on Restore Bell Canyon. It would make me most happy. Jeff Abity. And I would also like to read my response, if you'll give me 1 minute, and I want this to be on record.
Actually, if you could send me both documents, please.
I will send you both. 11324, Jeff. I don't usually respond to moronic emails, but this time I will do as you requested and share your email and my response with the community. But since there is no website called restorebellcanyon.com, and I have no control of the email account for restorebellcanyon@gmail.com, I will post your email and my response on the official Bell Canyon Facebook page. You obviously don't know the difference between a domain name and an email account. I have owned the domain name restorebellcanyon.com for many years. I have numerous such names that I registered when Eric Wolf and his group took over Bell Canyon. Yes, that was when Carol Henderson, our longtime general manager, was fired, and those individuals tried withholding her pension. At that time, with other residents, I launched the first attempt at a total recall of the BCA board and contemplated developing a website with that domain. There has never been an email account registered or a website developed at the domain named restorebellcanyon.com. The so-called attacks at you, of which I am unaware, originated with a Gmail account, restorebellcanyon@gmail.com, that I do not own. By mistakenly accusing me of attacking you, have made a fool of yourself and left yourself open to possible legal action. You lost the CSD election in 2022, not because of Peter Machuga and myself, but because you did not have community support. Regarding the previous PRA request for documents in 2023, note that Greg McHugh received a thumb drive containing all pertinent documents within the legal timeline of your request, and he acknowledged receipt of the data in an email. Judy Lance.
We are 6D, demand for retraction letter from DCC and BCA. I'll start that one. Back in November, there were official statements in this meeting from representatives of the BCA saying that the contract we had signed for office space in the BCA was a forgery, that the contract was backdated.
Forgery or fraudulent?
Fraud. Greg, did they say forgery or did they say fraud?
Forgery.
Both, they said both.
I'll make some very short comments and then we'll bring them to. So I would like to address some of the comments that I heard. I'll try to make it quick because there's some interesting assumptions out there. The sooner I finish talking, the sooner you all get to go. One, the BCC board had approval of the lease, and that was on the 6th in the morning before the break-in occurred. That's on the email. That's on the email chain. So there appear to be some people who think we're trying to make this a CSD office in order to, change the nature of the break-in, but the process started before any break-in that we were aware of. That was Monday morning. The signatures, I believe, were Tuesday. So the conspiracy theories we're hearing are conspiracy theories.
You said the signature was Tuesday, that's the 7th.
Hold on. The occupation, who is going to occupy the office is. Ask you some simple questions for the record. You're obviously familiar with the BCCC lease, which was executed on November 6th. So just to confirm, it was executed by the BCCC board on November 6th by email.
Yes, the first vote was cast at 10:38 a.m. and we had a quorum and 3 votes by 11 o'clock exactly. And then later we signed the contract.
Okay, at any point on November 6th, 7th, or 8th, were you contacted by the HOA attorney Michael Robkins?
I have never met the man nor spoken to him.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add here?
It's a legitimate lease. We all know that's true.
Thank you, Garrett.
You're welcome.
And that's for the record.
That's for the record.
Do we have a copy of that somewhere?
It's on the website.
It's on the website.
I thought I read that carefully.
He said a fraudulent letter considered a forgery by the HOA.
Fraudulent letter considered forgery.
Okay.
And then there are other discussions talking about backdating. We don't have to go into details. What I would propose for a motion is this, is we draft a letter, short and concise, asking that the BCA and the BCCC retract those false accusations publicly.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Richard just made that motion.
I'll second.
Discussion.
So tell me again, we want the BCA and BCCC to issue a letter saying that what their lawyer had written was fraudulent or forged, or wasn't forged. So what was that?
Well, the root of this is a little interesting because if you read the lawyer's letter carefully, the lawyer is claiming, right, something that it's not the lawyer saying it. The lawyer is
It's just the
reflecting.
last line in the thing that I read. It was a question, I thought.
Yeah. So the chain of custody of who made the judgment as a forgery is not quite clear. So part of what we want cleared up is like, how did this false accusation get created? And that goes into the apology. So they're not clear, like, on what justification they had for making these claims. If you read it carefully, it's a little fuzzy.
And the end result of this would be, what do you want as the end? Just a letter saying, oh, we're sorry?
Yeah, a letter retracting the accusation which came from their lawyer and saying, sorry, yes.
Yeah.
Public.
Or what does that get us? I
It
mean,
clears-
does it get us a lease? Does it get it? No, laughing?
No, Judy can have what you want.
Sorry.
I mean,
Eric has the floor.
So, what the attorney wrote, he obviously wrote based on representation for whoever he spoke to. So the issue here is not necessarily the attorney, that's a separate issue with the attorney actually, is that Greg was accused and the people on the CSD were accused of creating a fraud.
Attorney Michael Robkins is saying that the lease is a forgery and it was never proved or accepted or ratified.
Quorum approved it by 10:58 a.m.
Thank you. A quorum of the PC,
On what date?
November 6th. It will be entered in the minutes.
Saying that there's backdated lease. We have a letter from the HOA attorney accusing us of fraud.
I read that letter. I didn't see that as a crucial.
So basically there's an outstanding allegation that's false, that's proven to be false, and what we're asking for the motion is to ask for retraction in order to clear the reputation of Greg and all the people who dealt with the lease. That's a reasonable request.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Okay, this said the document was forged. I didn't see an accusation against, Greg personally. I didn't see that in that letter. Now, somebody can interpret it by saying, oh, well, his
Wait.
signature there is forged.
Hold on, Greg.
So, I've had a conversation with Greg about this already.
Okay,
So someone forged it, right? Someone forged it, right? Someone allegedly forged it. If it wasn't Greg, then who was it? I mean, I had nothing to do with it. You had nothing to do with it. Richard, Judy, did you have anything to do with the lease?
No.
I suspect you would, anybody else.
You left Greg and I'm assuming the president. So
and the BCCC.
and the BCCC members. So
Okay, so how do we go about this? You would write a letter saying, please retract this?
Yeah, hold on. Greg has a comment.
Oh, excuse me.
I was going to say that when they make those statements, they're writing it about the people that signed it. If I hadn't signed it, I wouldn't be upset. I'd be on their side. Somebody forged my signature. But they didn't forge my signature. I signed that document. And so the idiots that said it was a forgery don't know their ass from a hot block.
Thank you, Greg.
I thought we were calling names.
Matthew?
Okay.
Is that Matthew?
Yes.
Matthew, we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Okay. Why did he call someone an idiot and you didn't say anything?
Matthew, we're gonna have to ask you to leave again. minutes and 30 seconds pertaining to the lease.
I have a copy of the agenda, and the agenda says 50,000 to hire investigators.
That agenda item, public comment for that agenda item is closed.
I did not speak on it, and I have.
Oh, God, dude. Listen, I have a dinner.